Let's get some reaction now from one of the members who voted for this bill. Republican Congressman Marlin Stutzman of Indiana joins us live. Congressman, first of all, congratulations on the passage of the Big Beautiful Bill Act. I read in a statement you outlined some of the reasons you voted for it, lowering taxes, building the Golden Dome, securing the country's borders. You do write in it, though, this bill was not perfect. I wonder what was in it that you would have rather done without.
Yeah, well, great to be with you. You know, first of all, this is a huge accomplishment for President Trump's agenda and for the American taxpayer and the American people. This is going to really be the rocket fuel for the economy. What I would mention is that my concern has always been the national debt. The debt continues to climb, and there's some really big voices out there, including President Trump, saying that we have got to deal with debt. But it's kind of the chicken or egg. Which one comes first? You have to have a growing economy. You have to have a strong economy. And the Big Beautiful Bill is going to do that. It's going to keep taxes low for Americans. It's going to make sure that the border is secure. It's going to also make sure our defense is strong. And it also repeals a lot of those pieces that have been passed over the past 5 years under the Biden administration that really manipulate the market. So this is, you know, the deregulation of federal government. These are all huge factors for a growing economy, and it's going to be a huge benefit to the American people.
It's notable that President Trump was supportive of eliminating the debt ceiling altogether. This bill has the largest debt ceiling increase in history of some $5 trillion. You've been outspoken in wanting to tackle the deficit. I wonder, do you think this bill is actually poised to do that? What pathway is there for folks who have real concern about that if this is going to add to it?
Yeah, so it does. And the way that it does is that it's going to help an economy grow. We need to get back to that 3% GDP number. For the last several decades, we've been used to a 2.5%, even down to 2.1% GDP growth. Well, every percent that you lose in GDP growth, you're going to lose about $1 trillion in revenue. So if we get back up to that 3% or even higher, that's going to help bring those revenue dollars in. I don't think that now is the time to allow taxes to go up on the American people to pay for these shortcomings that have really been brought on to us by an irresponsible Congress. I have a bill that talks about emergency spending. About $12 trillion of our debt comes from emergency spending bills. And so there's these moments when Congress just goes overboard and adds to the credit card that the American people have to pay for. But I tell you what, I can tell, I mean, even being home last weekend talking to constituents, this economy is primed. I mean, the jobs report that came out today, we're hearing all these positive news. Gas prices are lower, inflation's in check. Boy, I tell you, now that people have certainty on tax policy, I think this economy is going to really take off.
There are also concerns, Congressman, about what this might do to access to health care for some Americans and the benefits that they receive. Our Jeff Zeleny recently spoke to a mom who's worried that changes to Medicaid, specifically additional requirements and eligibility checks, could impact her 9-year-old daughter who has brain damage. She has cerebral palsy. She says that the only thing keeping her daughter alive is Medicaid. I want you to listen to what she shared with CNN.
I'm worried that the red tape is going to affect our Medicaid because of just the oversight burdens, and that as a result, I'm going to lose my daughter.
She asked, quote, who's going to protect us when they can't get paperwork done in time and we lose coverage? How would you respond?
No, I empathize with her, and I tell you what, that's what Republicans are doing, is protecting Medicaid for people like her and for single moms, pregnant moms, you know, people that have found themselves in dire straits. You know, the Department of Justice just announced earlier this week a healthcare scam to the tune of about $14 billion, 300 people indicted. That's a huge story because we've consistently said over time that people are taking advantage of Medicare and Medicaid in our government programs, and they're just pocketing the money for profit. It's a scam, and that's what we need to stop. and that these programs can be healthy again if we keep them for those people who they're specifically for. If you're here illegally, it's not for you. If you're an able-bodied individual, it's not for you. That person that can go to work. If you're scamming these programs, you should be caught and put in jail and pay the fines. These programs are specifically for those who really need help, and Republicans are really set out to do that. And President Trump always told us, don't cut Medicaid for people that truly need the help.
Given reductions in federal spending for some states, though, are you concerned at all that rural hospitals may wind up closing? We've heard from workers at many of them who believe that they may not be able to stay open. Can you guarantee that this bill won't shut down hospitals in rural communities?
Yeah, I don't believe it will at all. In fact, one of the things that we do know is like states like California, they take about $160 billion a year in reimbursements through Medicaid. That number alone is larger than the entire state budget of Florida. There are several states that continue to overutilize and take advantage of Medicaid and Medicare in these programs that are really meant, again, for all Americans, not just for those in California or New York that are taking advantage of programs or expanding the programs. But, coming from a rural area, this is a really important issue for me because I see how the cost of health care has gone up. President Trump, again, I believe is the right person to fix this. He's already addressed it on prescriptions where he's capped prices. I think we're going to see more of those sorts of conversations where if the healthcare industry doesn't fix these problems in getting the cost of healthcare down, that the government and specifically President Trump's going to step in and fix it. And I think we need to. It's no longer a free market industry. It's very much a manipulated and controlled by government pricing and reimbursement rates.
I do just want to point out, for the sake of precision, Congressman, that California is the 5th largest economy, I believe, in the world, and so they contribute enormously to the revenue that the federal government creates by the form of taxes. I wonder how this got across the finish line, though, in terms of the bill. On Tuesday, you told Pamela Brown that there was no reason to rush this just to get it done by July 4th. You argued that certain provisions on the Senate version were unacceptable, especially, as we noted a moment ago, increases to the national debt and deficit. But then today you voted for it. You are outspoken now in your support for it. Was there pressure from the administration to get this done? Was there any threat to potentially primary you, the way that we've seen the administration do that with some other Republicans who voiced hesitation or apprehension?
No, absolutely not at all. In fact, the conversations with the White House have been very cordial. I expressed my concern to them over several different issues. And, it may not be fixed in this particular bill, but they have committed to me to work on these particular issues that affect my district and that they want to be able to help in other bills or in other tools that they have that can be done maybe through the administration. So, again, watching that Senate bill come out, it wasn't what I was hoping to see compared to the House version, but this administration has been very willing to work with every member that has had issues and concerns. I really compliment President Trump's team, but also I compliment Speaker Mike Johnson. I mean, he's the glue and the person that is really hinging all of these pieces together, listening to each member, hearing the concerns, and figuring out a way, how can we help to take care of those concerns, whether it's, again, this bill or another bill. This one here is a little bit different. The Senate went out of town. Any changes was going to cause more delays, but I really trust that we'll be able to accomplish the changes that we need over the next several months.
Congressman Marlin Stutzman, we'll leave the conversation there. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. Great to be with you.